The concepts of solving general equations. So we're looking at solving general linear equations. Now the main concept here is, as we've seen in the past, and that is to get x on one side and numbers on the other side. So let's look at some of these problems here to see how we go about doing the algebra on them. Alright? So we already know how to get a number from one side to the other. So let's recall that all we did was, if I had something like x plus 11 is equal to negative 9, I simply subtract 11 to move a term from one side to the other. You just perform the opposite operation, and that takes care of that, and that will give you the solution right away. So we know about this technique from the previous section. We also know that if we have a number times x, for example, such as 15x equal to, let's say, 75, then we simply divide by that number that's being multiplied to x, or the coefficient of x, and we can get the solution there to be equal to 5 in that case. Alright, so not too bad. So we've seen these two problems already. Let's put these two concepts together into a single problem. So let's take a look at the following problem from this section here, if you will. So let's take a look at something like 3x minus 8 is equal to 22, for example. Alright, so here we want to get x by itself. Again, the theme is what? X on one side and numbers on the other side. So let's go ahead and get x by itself first. So we're going to get rid of the minus 8. And to move the 8 from one side to the other, we're going to do the opposite operation. So it's a minus, we're going to do a plus. Plus 8 on both sides. Not too bad. That takes care of the 8's here on the left side. The 3x is equal to 30, obviously. And we can divide by 3 then, using the technique over here, dividing by 3, dividing by the x coefficient namely. So divide by 3, which is the x coefficient, to get rid of it. And that will give me the solution of 10. Alright, so again, we can always plug in the 10 back into the original equation to make sure the left side is equal to the right side. So certainly 3 times 10 is 30, minus 8 is 22. Alright, so not too bad at all. So make sure we now combine these two techniques into solving one equation, in particular this type of equation. Let's take a look at an equation that involves fractions. So let's look at the concept of fractions. Alright, let's say we have something like 5 halves minus 2/3 x is equal to, let's say, 1/6. Alright, now the theme here is to do something to this equation to get rid of these fractions, because when we have fractions to deal with, the equation becomes more complicated. So if I do something to both sides of the equal sign on both sides of the equation, then I can get rid of these denominators 2, 3, and 6. But the key is to figure out the LCD of these three fractions. And obviously, if we have 2, 3, and 6, the LCD is going to be 6. So LCD equal to 6. Alright? So what we're going to do with that is we're going to times the 6 to all three of these fractions to get rid of these denominators. So the idea is to multiply both sides by the LCD to get rid of the denominators, or to get rid of fractions, to eliminate fractions. So let's try that. Let's go ahead and stick a 6 next to all three of these fractions. So let's write 6 times 5 over 2 for the first multiplication, first term, minus 6 times 2/3 x for the second term, equal to 6 times 1/6. Alright, so that will leave me with 2 canceling with 6 here if I perform this calculation. It's 3. 3 and 5 is going to be 15. And then here we're going to have 3 into 6 twice, so make sure we're sharp on cross-canceling fractions here in terms of multiplying up, but we can certainly use our calculator for that. 2 and 2x will be 4x, so minus 4x equal to 6 is dropped off here on the right side, so equal to 1. Right? So we get a nice, simple equation to solve now. So certainly we can obviously finish this off. So there's no more fractions involved. So now it's just x on one side, numbers on the other side. So let me go ahead and subtract 15 on both sides here. Running out of space, but hopefully it stays on the screen okay. So we're going to get negative 4x equal to negative 14. Alright, now we can divide by the coefficient of the x, which is negative 4. So divide both sides by negative 4 there. So I squeeze that in on there. So negative drop off. So let me continue up here because I ran out of space. So x is equal to 14 over 4. The negative divide out to be positive. And 2 goes into 14 7 times, and the 4 twice. So therefore, x is equal to 7 halves as our solution for this problem. So again, anytime we get an equation that involves fractions, we can certainly multiply everything by the LCD, or all three fractions in this case by 6, to get rid of the denominators of 2, 3, and 6 here. And we get an easier equation to solve, which we can then obviously finish it off quite nicely. Alright, so let's go ahead and try another one here if we will. Let me go and clear off the screen. Let's go and try this one. Let's look at 3/8x minus 5/6 is equal to 5/12. Alright, so again, let's multiply everything by the LCD, all three terms by the LCD, to get rid of those fractions. So let's look at 8, 6, and 12. What's the LCD going to be here? Well, hopefully we can see without too much trouble that the LCD will be equal to what? 24. Right? So let's multiply 24 to all three fractions. So 24 times 3/8x, 24 times 5/6, and 24 times 5/12. As you can see here, 24 multiplied to everything. All right? So I'm not changing the equation at all. All right? Let's simplify that. So 8 into 24, 3 times. So that's good, 9x. And then 6 into 24, 4 times. That'll be minus 20. And then finally on the right hand side I get 12 into 24 twice, so that'll be 10. Alright, not too bad at all. So let's go ahead and finish it off by what? Getting x by itself, so get rid of the minus 20. And how do I do that? How do I move the 20 to the right hand side? We're going to do the opposite of that. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. Okay, to move a number from one side to the other side, you do the opposite. Right? So in this case minus 20, we'll do a plus 20 to both sides. So we get 9x is equal to 30. And then divide both sides by 9. We get our result here as x equal to, now 30 over 9, I can reduce that. 3 goes into both. 3 into 9 3 times. 3 into 30 10 times. So this will be 10/3 as our solution here. Alright? So hopefully we can see that without too much trouble here. Okay, so again, the theme for an equation involving fractions is what? Multiplying everything by the LCD to get rid of fractions. That gives us an easy equation to solve, and we can finish solving it. All right. Let's look at the case where we have x terms. So far, with all the problems we've dealt with, have x terms only on one side, namely the left side. Let's deal with equations where we get x terms on both sides. See how we handle that. Let's try this one. All right. Let's go ahead and look at something like this one. All right. Let's look at something such as 5x minus 4. 5x minus 4 is equal to, let's say, 3x minus 10. All right? So here I have x terms on both sides of the equation here. All right? So how do I solve this equation? How do I get x by itself? Well, there's a couple of approaches. You can get all the, but the main idea, first of all, is to get all the x's on one side and get all the numbers on the other side. Doesn't matter which side. You can choose to move the x's on the right side, numbers on the left side then. But in this case, I'm going to choose to move all the x's to the left side and move the numbers to the right side. Okay, so again, the main idea is what? The idea is that get variable on one side and numbers on the other side. All right, that's the main concept. So get variable on one side and numbers on the other side. All right, so make sure we understand that. So let's go and get the x terms over to the left side, as I mentioned earlier. So how do I do that? Well, that means I want to move this 3x over to the left side. So move from the right side to the left side. Again, how do I move it from one side to the other side? We do the opposite. All right, so it's minus 3x in this case to both sides, one step at a time. That takes care of the 3x's on the right-hand side. Get 2x here, minus 4 is equal to negative 10. All right, now I'm going to get numbers, since I have x's on the left, now numbers on the right. So I get variable on one side, numbers on the other side. All right. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides now to get rid of the minus 4 here on the left side. That takes care of that. So if 2x is equal to negative 6, negative 10 plus 4, and then dividing both sides by 2, we have our solution of x equal to negative 3. Okay, so hopefully we can get a good understanding again of these types of equations. X on one side, numbers on the other side. That's really the theme we want to get at here. Okay, let's try a few more examples. Let's try this one. Well, let's try this one. Let's look at 5 minus 4 times the quantity x plus 6 equal to 21. Okay, so this one's a little more work for us now. All right. Now in this problem here, we have, before I begin solving the equation, I need to simplify the left-hand side. And we've done that in chapter 2. So let's go and do that here. So that means what? Distribute the negative 4 in this case. So let me bring down the 5. All right. Let me distribute the negative 4. Negative 4 times x, negative 4x, and negative 4 times 6, negative 24 equal to 21. So right side stays the same. We'll now combine like terms. So again, so far we have not begun solving the equation yet. Combine like terms. 5 minus 24. That's negative 19 minus 4x equal to 21. All right. Now let's go ahead and get rid of the negative 19. Again, x on one side, numbers on the other side. So let me add 19 to both sides since it's a minus 19. To get rid of it, do the opposite. All right. That takes care of the 19s on the left. So I have negative 4x equal to 30. Excuse me, 40, I should say. All right, 21 plus 19, 40. All right, so divide both sides by negative 4. So then we have our solution of negative 10. Okay, so again, the theme is what? X on one side, numbers on the other side. In this case, we have to simplify first. Okay, let's try this one here. Let's look at 9x minus the quantity 2x plus 5 equal to 4 times the quantity 5x plus 2. All right, let's try that one. Okay, so again, this time I have to simplify each side separately. So let's simplify the left side first. So again, bring down the 9x in this case. I need to distribute this minus sign. Pretend there's an invisible 1 right here. Okay, so let's take the opposite of each term. Opposite of 2x, negative 2x. Opposite of positive 5, negative 5. Make sure we see that now. All right, on the right side, 4 times 5x, 20x, 4 times 2 plus 8. Again, after I distribute, no more parentheses. Keep that in mind. All right, just like chapter 2 homework. All right, combine like terms on the left here. So again, so far I have not begun solving the equation. Just simplifying each side. That's all we're doing here. All right. So 9x minus 2x is 7x minus 5 equal to 20x plus 8. All right. So again, x on one side, numbers on the other side. This time, let me choose to get x's on the right side and numbers on the left side. Again, you take your pick. You can get x on the left, numbers on the right, which is what we've been doing so far. But you can also get x on the right and numbers on the left, and that's perfectly fine too. Okay, so let's go and do it that way. Let's get the 7x over to the right side. So subtract 7x to both sides. Then again, to move a term from one side to the other side, we do the opposite. Can't say that enough. All right, that takes care of the 7x's. That negative 5 equal to 13x plus 8. All right. Now, since I have x's on the right side, I should get numbers on the left side. X on one side, numbers on the other side. All right, always the case here. So let's go and subtract 8 on both sides to do that. Get the numbers on the left. So therefore, I have negative 13 equal to 13x. All right, dividing both sides by 13. So therefore, x is equal to negative 1, as you can see as our result. Okay, so again, just take your time when solving these types of equations and simplify carefully here, and then we should get the correct solution at the end. All right, let's go ahead and do one more, and then I'll give you some prompts to solve and post the answers to on Blackboard. Okay, let's just do one more here. All right, let me go and clear out the screen. It's a fairly short section for us, right? Let's go and try this one. Let's do one more here. Basically reviewing concepts of equation solving. Let's try 5x minus 4 times the quantity 3 minus 2x equal to 2 times 3x minus 2 plus 6. Alright? Again, the only thing challenging here is what simplifying each side. But that's not too bad at all if we do it step by step. So let's bring down the 5x here on the left. Let me distribute the negative 4. Negative 4 times 3, negative 12. Negative 4 times negative 2x is positive 8x equal to 2 times 3x, 6x. 2 times negative 2, negative 4. So I want you to draw the arrows out when you distribute. That way you know what you're multiplying. Again, after we distribute, no more parentheses. All right, let's keep that in mind again. Plus 6, bring it down. All right, let's combine like terms on each side. So 5x plus 8x is what? 13x minus 12 equal to 6x, negative 4 plus 6, positive 2. All right. Again, let's get x on one side, numbers on the other side. This time we get x on the left, numbers on the right. So we go and subtract 6x on each side here to get the x's on the left side. Again, you take your pick which side you want x to be on. It's entirely up to you. I want to keep things positive, so I'm going to get the x on the left to make that happen. So I get 7x here, minus 12 equal to 2. Let's go and add 12 to both sides of the equation. So therefore, I get 7x is equal to 14. So then dividing by 7 then, we have a result of positive 2. Okay, so we get positive 2 as our result. So again, not too bad if we simplify these equations step by step and then solve them step by step. Okay, again, the theme is what? X on one side, numbers on the other side, bottom line. Okay, so let me give you about 3 problems to post the answers to in Blackboard, and then we can discuss them in class. Alright, so let me go and clear out the screen. Okay, so let's go and try to solve this equation in Blackboard here. So here's the first one. Let's solve this equation. All right, let's go ahead and solve the equation 5x plus 4 equal to 6 plus 10x. Okay, so we're going to solve that equation. Post the answers in Blackboard. Number 2, I want you to solve the equation 5 times the quantity 6 minus 2 times the quantity 5x plus 1, close quantity, close bracket, equal to 8x minus 9. All right, I want you to try that one. And finally, number 3, I want you to solve this equation here, if you will. Let's go and try to solve this equation. Let's solve 17 plus 5/8x. 5/8x is equal to 7. All right. So go and try to solve these 3 equations and post your answers in Blackboard, and we can discuss them in class.